Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to another episode of Morning Tea, where we sit in our sleepwear and discuss current events. Today's tea is Tetley Black Tea. It's a robust British tea. I imagine it's like Lipton's, but for Brits. I like my British tea with a little bit of milk. Carnations, evaporated milk, canned milk. Okay, it's been a while. Let's jump into this episode. Here's the tea. I know this is a bit of old news, but Kobe Bryant won an Oscar. Who knew? Word on the street is he wrote a poem called Dear Basketball, and that poem got turned into an animated short. He worked with some of the best people in the industry, took that poem, turned it into an animated short, and it won an Oscar. So congratulations to Kobe Bryant on that win. Did you know that Obama has won 2 Grammys for his audiobooks? Isn't that cool? Also, something that's cool, Kendrick Lamar won a Pulitzer for Damned. Congratulations to him. That's fun. Also, someone is talking about giving Trump the Nobel Peace Prize because he took his tumultuous relationship with Kim Jong-un and turned it around and turned it into something where him and Kim Jong-un have like a mutual understanding. So they want to give him the Nobel Peace Prize because he, I guess, brought peace. Here's the tea. Babs Bush, y'all. Barbara Bush passed away last week, April 17th. She was 92 years old. And I don't know, I felt a little something for Barbara Bush, the matriarch of the Republican Party, mainly because she's the first lady that I knew. I was young when she was in office, and she was my first lady. So can't say she's one of my favorites, but she's my first. So rest in peace to Barbara Bush. They were married for like 40 something years. That's crazy. No, if they were 90, they probably got together when he was like 16. They've been together for like 60 years. If they're 90, that's crazy. They met when he was 16 years old, or she was 16. 1945, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 2005, 2015, 16, 17, 18. Yo, 73 years they were married. Yo, he's not going to be able to live very much longer without her. Like, 73 years? Like, what is that even? Yo, that shit's crazy. That's a whole ass person. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole other old person. Like, so a little bit of controversy surrounding that was that Trump didn't go to it, right? He didn't go to the funeral. And so liberals went on Twitter, like bashing him for not going to the funeral and not paying respect to the Bushes. I mean, Babs was not shy about what she felt about Trump. She did not like Trump. So I don't think she or her family particularly feel any way about Trump not actually showing up. But Melania came and sat with the other president people. And she sat next to Obama, you know? And there was a lot of memes about that. There's also this really fun photo of the Clintons, George Bush and Laura Bush, Bush Sr., Obama, and Melania. So it looked like, you know, just people coming together, people who are in a particular place in this world, in this country, coming together to celebrate somebody else who was a part of their club. You know what I'm saying? It's like the President's Club, literally. So I thought it was nice. It was televised. So the answer to the tweets about Obama sitting next to Melania and the fact that Trump was not actually at the funeral, but the response to that from the Republicans was like, no sitting president comes to the funeral of a dying first lady. Then they brought up the fact that Obama didn't come to Nancy Reagan's funeral. But they're also saying that Obama didn't come to her funeral because he was busy. He wasn't playing a round of golf. So apparently Trump was playing golf during the funeral, or at least the day of the funeral. I'm not sure. But I'm like, girl, Babs didn't want him there. So it's fine. People love to they want to argue. And I'm like, who cares? Who cares? Speaking of who cares, guys, who cares about Kanye and Trump? And let me tell you why I don't care. I haven't owned a Kanye album since College Dropout. I don't own any of his shoes. I don't think anything of Kanye. He's not one of my favorite artists. I'm not a part of the Kanye Banyes. the Westerns. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a Western. I'm not a stand for Kanye. I don't care. I don't care that he finds Trump's comments or political views to be applicable. Like, I know that a lot of people hated Obama, and I loved Obama. That's the first person to ever make me feel like patriotic slightly, like in the slightest sense of it. I don't feel patriotism to this country because I'm a descendant of American slavery. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel patriotism to a country that condoned the enslavement and the barbarous treatment of my peoples. However, I don't judge those who love America. They don't have that experience. I don't expect them to have or understand my experience, but I do expect them to tolerate my experience, right? And to give it a breath to live in. Give it a breath of space to live in. The only time I would ever call the police is if I felt my life were to be threatened. And I have people who are like, oh, you shouldn't feel that way. And I'm like, it doesn't matter that you don't understand and I don't have to explain it to you. My trauma requires a certain space to live in, and it will live in that space, right? So I feel the same thing about anyone else and their experiences. So if you are somebody who loves Trump, love Trump. If you don't care about some of the words that he used, some of the things that he does, and some of the shit that he says about minorities, because whatever else he gives you supersedes what's going on with the soul of Black people and other minorities in this country. If it doesn't affect you, then it doesn't affect you. Like, there's no judgment on that. I don't care that that's what Kanye feels. Like, I don't care. Even though he was the person who said George Bush does not care about Black people on national TV during Katrina's telethon, like, yes, he will be the hero for that, but he didn't let me down because now he's on Trump's side. To me, Trump is the personification of capitalism. And like, I can't blame him for being that. This is what he's going to be. So none of his antics, nothing that he says is going to ever like be something that I can relate with, because he's in a completely different playing field than me. And all we can do is vote locally to make sure that our local government does things that work for us. Like, I don't care about the presidency right now. And even Kanye making some kind of comment about the fact that Obama spent 8 years in the presidency, yet Chicago is still the same, if not worse. And I'm like, why aren't you blaming your local authorities? But where is that direct connection to the presidency through the pipeline of Chicago cleaning up its streets? I don't have an answer for Chicago because I don't even like to speak about it. I don't have an answer for what anyone could do in this scenario with what's happening in our brothers and sisters in Chicago right now. But how is that Obama's fault is my question. But, you know, someone's down below is going to tell me, so going ahead. Kind of actually thought it was cute the way Kim got on Twitter to defend her husband, because I felt like, aw, like, she really loves him or whatever. I don't know, that made me think that. And also Kanye isn't in the best health. I think he looks I think he's going through a thing. I read somewhere that he recently acknowledged that he had an addiction to opioids. So I hope that his weight gain is indicative of him actually coming off the opioids. And I hope that he does well, because he's got 3 kids now to take care of, or to love. You know what I'm saying? And give that emotional support too. So I really do hope the best for him. But like, everyone's like, oh, Kanye is canceled. He's not canceled. He's still a Black person trying to survive. He's not gonna be canceled to me unless he says something real crazy. Then we're gonna have problems. But until then, I don't care about Kanye, girl. All right, so let's move on to our next topic. Here's the tea. Bill Cosby, girl. So there was a mistrial last year because the jury was hung and they couldn't come to a decision based on the evidence given to them. And so the case was thrown out and it was retried. And Bill Cosby was convicted of drugging women and having sex with them in his home. I can't remember what the sentence is, if there is any sentencing. They tried to say that he was a flight risk, and so to deny bail, but he like yelled in the court. He yelled in the court that he does not have a private jet, so he's not a big fly risk. So he's going to be on house arrest now in his house. I think I saw that he was going to serve 10 years, but I don't know if he's actually going to physically serve that. People are like, why bring this up now? Why did these women come forward now? What are they going to do to this poor old man? I'm just like, who cares that he's old? Like, he needed to be convicted of a crime he committed. Like, the time for him to serve time is now. Like, there's no way these women could have come out with this story any earlier. We are now ripe in the time for people to acknowledge rape, acknowledge these celebrity men who take advantage of women, who have been shielded for all these years and still are shielded from their actions due to their celebrity. So this is the consequence of that behavior. All right, you guys, that's it for Morning Tea. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down below. Please check out the description box. I put some links to other things in there if you guys want to check out those stories. Shout out to Fake Gods for sending them to me so that I could let you guys know if you're interested in, you know, doing some research on your own for a different story and different topics that I may not cover in Morning Tea. I will take your suggestions. So if you have something that you would like for me to talk about, please go ahead and comment that to me or send me an email. Like, you know what I'm saying? All right, you guys, remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.